Well, everyone, the question that I've been getting so many times, actually not really, but the question I want to answer is, what was my favorite iPhone I ever used? Now, to be honest, I personally do think the best iPhone I ever used was the iPhone 10, but recently, to be honest, that's pretty much changed. I think my favorite iPhone that I've ever used of all time was the iPhone 11 Pro. That device, in my opinion, was just the phone that went from like the iPhone 10, which is like a 10 out of 10 experience, to the 11 Pro, which was like a 12 out of 10 experience. That thing was a very solid phone, and funny enough, typically when you first get a phone, when you first get an iPhone, especially a brand new one that came out like that, there's a lot of problems that end up happening within the first couple of weeks, a lot of iOS problems and things like that. But to be honest, compared to now and compared to a lot of other devices that have been out, there were very few problems with the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 series in terms of software. Of course, there were, a lot of issues. I had a lot of brightness issues, a display issue here and there. But for the most part, compared to my iPhone 12s, that device actually had very few problems about it, which without a doubt was one of my favorite things about the 11 Pro. It was such a stable phone. And on top of that, the battery life of this device was so crazy. I could not believe how good of a battery life the iPhone 11 Pro was. It is just so crazy to me, like a device like that at that, capability, that, small of a form factor was that good at that battery life. It was around a 3000 mAh battery, and it's very strange because, Apple actually went ahead and decreased the battery size the next time around, and that was something that was very weird. When you have an iPhone 11 Pro, dude, that thing was smaller and it had a bigger battery. How is it that the next iteration that was bigger had a smaller battery? Like, it made no sense at all. So that was a huge thing that kind of threw me off, and that's something that I have a lot of respect for about, Apple for putting it at that time a bigger battery. And to give you some perspective, on my iPhone 10, I had a battery case, the Apple battery case. I had that for my iPhone 10. And crazy enough, my battery life was almost about the same. It was a little bit better on the iPhone 10 with the battery case than my 11 Pro, but I was ending the day with my iPhone 10 with the battery case at like 30%, like maybe like 40%. With my iPhone 11 Pro, I was ending the day around like 30% or like 25%, like very, very close. And that was so crazy to me. That was the biggest difference I've ever seen in terms of battery. And I think the 11 Pro had the best battery life out of most of the iPhones that I use as a main device, including the 7 Plus, the 6S Plus, the 6 Plus, and the iPhone 10 at that time. Now, on top of that, the feeling of the phone just felt so great in my hand. It actually did feel like $1,000 device. Like, it still feels like a very premium device. And I'm still so shocked by how good of a phone it feels in the hand. When I use my iPhone 12, even my 12 Pro, it definitely feels good in the hand, but there's something about the curved sides that I actually do prefer. I think visually, flat sides look better, but actually holding in the hand, the curved sides feel a little bit better in my opinion, but it's different per person, and I think that's kind of like whatever. But the biggest jump in terms of camera quality came with the 11 Pro, I think, with its 4K 60 on the back and the front, but with that triple camera setup, that was an insane improvement for sure. That thing made the iPhone 11 Pro look so much of a big upgrade coming from the iPhone XS. And I think as time progresses, we're going to probably end up seeing that more and more, but that without a doubt was one of the biggest improvements I've seen from one phone from the other. And I really do think that the iPhone 11 Pro was my favorite phone of all time. I think it was the best iPhone I've ever used, and I do think it was actually probably one of the best phones ever released from Apple. I can't think of another phone. I think the iPhone 10 was a better phone, but I think the 11 Pro was the most well-rounded, just perfect phone. There were very few things to complain about, and I really do hope this phone ends up getting probably more software support than an iPhone, XS, and an iPhone 12. I hope it ends up matching the iPhone 12. That would be awesome. So that pretty much covers it up. I mean, if you're looking for an iPhone 11 Pro, I'll leave links in the description, but this by far is definitely one of the phones I would recommend without a doubt. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.